Well, it's a 1-0 defeat tonight, a narrow defeat. We still played a lot of our game. It's just that final end of the pitch, isn't it, where we're lacking at the moment.
Yeah, and it's something we've talked about. It's something that's quite apparent when you watch us. The build-up play was pretty good, and we were okay in the first 2/3. Generally, didn't really give away much the first half either, and we just can't get that final pass, that final cross, that final shot, the final contact. We just lack a little bit of fluidity, I think, coming to those areas, and sometimes when you're in that sort of run, it's hard to get out of. You need a bit of luck on your side something to just bounce and ricochet to you, but we're not getting that at the minute. But we just got to keep working, put it right, make sure we build on the good stuff we're doing, and the final first half, a lot of the time it just comes with repetition of movements and things like that. So we just got to keep putting ourselves in the right areas.
We've showed in stages this season when we're purring, there's not many teams that can stop us. Is it just something with confidence at the moment that maybe we're lacking up that top end?
Yeah, I think it's all of us as well. I think we're just a little bit fragile at the minute. There's no beating around it, and I think sometimes when you go on runs like that in football, it can be like that, and you think too much about the last games rather than focusing on the present and concentrating on what we're doing. I mean, we're doing a lot of things well still. Same with Boreham Wood, we didn't really give up much, but just that final, like you say, that final contact, that final moment, which is the most important in football. It's the only actions that matter, and unfortunately we're just not quite there at the minute.
It's at that stage of the season now. Obviously we're safe, and the playoff dream sort of ended maybe a couple of games ago now. There's also been some shouts, so people say we're on the beach now. You're obviously working with the lads firsthand, one of the lads yourself, and you've probably seen teams where that has been the case. But how much would you sort of reject the notion that's been thrown about?
I hate that shout. It's such an easy one to do, and it's like as if it's questioning our professionalism and our hunger and desire to do well and win, like we have had all season. Like the boys are giving everything, nothing's changed. Sometimes you go on runs in football, and sometimes results go against you, and I reject that notion wholeheartedly, and I find it quite offensive personally. So we've just got to block out all of that sort of noise, the negativity. We know what we're doing in the group, and we're proud of what we're doing and what we're trying to achieve. Listen, we've probably fallen a little bit short in terms of, like you say, the playoff dream, but
to even be there is an achievement in itself, isn't it?
Of course, but I don't like saying that because at the same time we're not satisfied that we're not in amongst it now.
Good the group is as well, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, and we know what we can do, but sometimes football's like that. It's hard. Other teams are good. We're good. We try and we're doing all we can. And unfortunately, the last 6-7 games, it just the margins haven't gone in our favour. And that's football sometimes.
So we had a similar run, didn't we, back in October, and then I think we went away to Altrincham and had a proper back to the walls performance and grabbed a 1-0. Does that just we're needing a game like that to come along again?
Yeah, and that's it. And sometimes those ones are the best ones. They're the ones that bring a group together where you give so much to it, because, like you say, Altrincham is probably, in terms of our footballing performance, is one of our worst this season. But we dug in, we worked hard, we rid our luck because they had a lot of chances. We nicked a goal and we kept a clean sheet, and then that put us on a good run from there. And sometimes things like that can be a catalyst, and we just don't have that catalyst at the minute. And it can be small, like you say, football's small margins. And if we get that, for example, the penalty shout in the first half, if we get there and score that, then maybe it becomes a different game. But like I said, we just got to keep working, and hopefully the margins will start swinging in our favour.
And then it's Dorking next, and obviously probably the opposite of the Altrincham game where we played really well and we were all scratching our heads after, wondering how we didn't get anything. Are you expecting them to come with a similar sort of style and us to sort of play against that as we did at their place earlier this season? Yeah,
Dorking are a very, very difficult team to play. They're very unique in their style, they're very unique in how they play, how they approach the game, very intense, really a challenge, and when they're on their game they make it very, very difficult, like they did away from home. So I mean, it's a big game for us. It's one of our last home games. We really want to put on a show. The fans have been tremendous this season in terms of the away support. I can't imagine other teams at our sort of level being able to bring that many fans. That I know they've got jobs. I know they've got to take time off and things like that on a Tuesday night, going to places that are very far away, and we feel like we owe it to them. On the last home Saturday, obviously you've got Solihull on Tuesday, but the last home Saturday we really want to put on a show for them.
And it's obviously the awards night as well. It was a really good night last year, actually. How nice would it be to see some of the lads obviously earning the accolades that they've earned throughout the season, to be rewarded in front of the supporters here?
Yeah, absolutely. And some of the boys' performances throughout the season, like I say, it's an unbelievable group. It's a joy and a pleasure to play with these guys every couple of times a week now at the minute, and to train with the guys. Is such a good group of just good, hard-working, honest people, and that runs from the management team all the way through every single player. It's an amazing spirit, and the awards dinners, football results can affect moods, and that's just how it is. That's just life. So we know that to have a good night, we really need to get a good result, and I think we owe it to the fans, we owe it to ourselves. We want to finish the season on a high, because you lose a few games towards the end of the season, then all of a sudden everyone's on the downer and everyone thinks, oh, we've had a terrible season, when you look at it objectively, probably at the end of the season we'll look back and think, okay, what we've done is pretty okay. So we really want to finish strong.
And lastly, do you think you're in the shout for any awards? What do you fancy?
Oh, I don't know, maybe oldest player, I'll take that one.
Well done, Al.